Hello, YouTube. Anybody out there? Sitting here at a little pavilion on the Bison Trail. Got some weather getting ready to move in. Severe thunderstorm, so it's kind of gray and overcast. But you can see how much the grass has really greened up in the last few days. Bison are taking advantage of that new growth. Hey, Kermudge, Rob and Sarah, how are you guys? Zoom in here a little bit more, maybe, if it'll let me. Nope, that's about it, I guess. Good, glad to hear it. You guys are melting off right now, I think, there in Alaska. Cut the cord. Morning. It's a public park, brook trout. It's actually state owned. Hello, Clint. So there's 7 bison in here. That's good. And you can start getting your summer projects going there, Kermudge. I'm back to work now. I've been back for a week. Not allowed to do any overtime until the 5th of May, which does not break my heart. Thanks, Kermudge. Yeah, I could use all the help I can get with thumbs up. There's starting to be more people in the park now. So Phyllis has turned into a trail rider, I hear. I'd like to be up there myself, but got to get stuff wrapped up here. But yeah, like I was saying, there's getting to be more and more people in the park. So a lot of times there's a lot of background noise. And it's not really conducive to filming sometimes. Got one up here at the trough taking a drink. Might be able to get you a close-up. I know it's probably going to be windy, but I can't really do anything about it. Like I said, there's a storm front getting ready to move in, more tornadoes and stuff like that. Yeah, cut the cord. I just did a little bit of filming on some of the new growth here. So hopefully I can get that stuff out there shortly. My video content's going to go down because of work. Had all the time in the world. Hey, Cordless. Well, Clint, there are videos on YouTube. Guy riding a buffalo. So, if I'm not mistaken, Ted Nugent did that once too. Yeah, I did just a little bit of a segment on the fence too. I can show you real close here. This fence is like 8 feet tall, and it's got a 6x post there, and there's fencing on the inside and outside. Hey, P&J. And here's the year-old calf. So, not sure how successful the breeding was this year. Maybe we'll get a new calf this year. Sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. Yeah, P&J, I don't advertise nothing. It's just spur of the moment. Whenever the mood strikes. But because my video content's going to be going down, I figured maybe lives would be a little easier to do sometimes. Even though it's not my thing. You guys hear me okay? Good, thanks, Curmudge. Good, thanks, Clint. So they should start shedding here in the not too distant future. I wouldn't mind getting some of their wool off the fence and stuff like that when it collects on there. How's everybody doing? How's the weather? We're in like the 60s right now. Low 60s, nice breeze. There's one of the dominant bulls right there. His horns are massive. I think we're gonna get a visitor here. Hear me talking. Get a up close and personal view. I don't have any treats here today. Oh, that's sassy. Degrees. Yeah, you guys are getting ready to enter mud season there. '70s. Yeah, that's getting a little bit warm for me, Clint. Yeah, it really does green up fast. Fortnite crash out. Welcome. Yes, those are bison. 7 in the herd. It's a 20-acre enclosure on a state-run state park in Indiana. The glare on the screen's kind of hard for me to see what I'm filming, but I think we're pretty much centered. Actually, the baby one, yeah, is the closest one to the screen right here. Just a year old. Clint, these are a holdover from back in the 30s and 40s, early 50s. They had it was a CCC camp, Civilian Conservation Corps, that helped develop this property. But back in the time, they used to have catch and release programs. And so here they raised a lot of pheasant and quail and things like that. So in exchange, other parks that wanted the birds and things like that, they would trade animals. So they would make a capture of raccoon or whatever that was native to this area, and then they would trade them for the birds. And they had other exhibits. They had elk here. I think they had some wildcats. And a lot of this is from my father's memory when he was a kid. But most of that is fairly well documented. It was all gone by the time I was a kid. In this enclosure, they used to have white-tailed deer as well. and there was more deer on the outside of the enclosure than the inside, so they finally released the deer, and the bison were just a holdover from all those different programs. I'm not sure where they originated from. I hope that answers some of your question. Try to zoom in here the best I can. A little bit better view. Trying to hold all this on the inside of the fence. See, we got 6 in here and 10 thumbs up from what I'm seeing on my screen. Thanks, P&J, appreciate that. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. I don't know what that word is there, biome. This one right here in front is a baby, yes. Yeah, brook trout, I know some of those bison are regulated, because my cousin had a herd for a while, and if he brought anything in under a year old, he didn't have to go through the inoculation process and certification to maintain a certified herd, because once they become over a year old, I guess they were afraid that they could bring in disease and things like that. So do your research. It's possible. And then I'm sure state laws vary, so Michigan would be different than Indiana. Yeah, P&J, I'm adapting. I'm definitely not used to being on concrete. Been 6 months and I do not care for it. Become abundantly obvious in about 3 days. Well, let me walk down the fence line here and I can get a little bit closer vantage point for you guys. Yeah, P&J, I'm ready to be done with work. 30 years, well, over 30 years in the same building. That's enough. Hope I'm not shaking you around too much. These guys move around quite a bit to get the fresh grass so they don't overgraze. Slipping through the fence here again. Sorry about that. A little bit closer again. Yeah, curmudge. I don't mind doing it if it's for myself, but when it's for somebody else's benefit, you usually lose. Yeah, cut the cord. I've been doing some investigating. Rob sent me some information, and I've been doing a little exploring online on property. So it's not really my thing to reach out to people, but I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet. So at least obtain land now, anyways. My daughter's getting ready to graduate in May, so I still have a lot going on this half of the continent, lower 48 anyways. She's in Rhode Island, so I'll be going out there first part of May, and then my youngest, he'll turn 18 in August, so I'll have at least another year with him here before I can make a full-time move. Yeah, Clint, I had a taste of that, and it is definitely an adjustment. If you can't get out and do things, it makes it really hard. That's why I just started walking every day. So gave me a lot of video content, but I couldn't do much else. Got a Jeep that needs brakes on it, and it's still sitting there needing brakes because I am still not to that point. Brook trout, yeah, I'm hoping to be done 50, 51, somewhere in there, just semi-retired, work for myself. Whether it's hands-on type stuff, I'd really like to get into the craft industry up there in Alaska, but that's kind of dicey too. You never know what people are interested in or how much they're willing to spend, and it'll vary month to month. Hey Bill, thanks for stopping in, I appreciate it. Yeah, P&J, I need another surgery. That's another reason why I'm sticking it out here for the moment. Well, I've got insurance and everything's close, so I need to work for a while and get that surgery out of the way. See, I got 13 people in here and 12 thumbs up. Everybody's saying hi back and forth. Appreciate that. Great Alaskan YouTube community. Yeah, there's some people here in the background coming up close to me. I don't know if you can hear the frogs in the background. Did a short and then a longer video vertical position on the frogs. It's really waking up here now. Yeah, Rob, that's this day and age, I shouldn't rather be on my own than be around people. Sorry about the shakiness of the camera. So you can hear everything going on. Earlier there was some pileated woodpeckers, but I don't know if anybody heard that or not. They usually don't sound off very long. Yeah, the wind, that's a bad thing. With that storm system moving in, I'm surprised I haven't gotten wet yet. Sun's trying to come out a little bit. Anybody planning on planting the garden this year? We got some rain last night. Things need to dry out here quite a bit. Oh wow, P&J still getting ice. Yeah, I didn't garden at all last year. I've just felt so bad for so long. I helped my dad, well, I made a raised bed for my dad so that he could garden there in his backyard. Not very much, just something for him to get out of the house. I cut the cord. I think all that rain's supposed to be north of us, just the UP. It's about as far south as that's supposed to go in upstate New York. Clint, you might think about doing some container gardens, you know, some plants in pots, and I know people even take cardboard boxes and line them with plastic, or even straight out of the bag they plant sometimes. Maybe not a huge garden, but it'd be something. Yeah, we didn't get a lot of rain here. It's just enough to get everything wet. Now with the wind, it's starting to dry stuff out. It's some puddling, so we probably got a ½ inch anyways. But everything's starting to bud out. So I took some video of that, and hopefully I'll have some stuff coming out. Yeah, Clint, you can do it. There's lots of different ways to garden. Doesn't have to be right in the ground, and they even do beds with legs on them, so you don't have to bend over. You can make them whatever height you want. Just a box. Find anything you want on YouTube. Yeah, brook trout, that's a really big system moving through up there. I hope they don't get any ice with that, because that's what makes it bad with power lines and trees down and bad driving. Yeah, brook trout, hydroponics is another way. Get you a little circulating pump. I think they even sell self-contained units. They don't grow a lot. You can grow like lettuce and herbs and things like that, but we'll move locations here again, so you don't have to keep looking at the same thing. Sorry for the fence shaking you around. Yeah, I think the thaw is coming for everybody here soon. Anything anybody gets is just going to be short term. Although I see Alaska's supposed to be closer to below normal temperatures than normal temperatures here for the next week, I think. For the state anyways, that's not really per region. Sorry about the wind. Over here and show you this tree that's all budded out. Some of the briars, they're starting to green up. Yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty big system there, brook trout. We're supposed to be in the middle of it, so haven't really looked at the weather today, but they're calling for a pretty wide swath of weather, starting down where Clint's at in Texas, all the way up through the UP. Yeah, brook trout, this is where I do most of the walking. There's this is over 1,000 acres of ground in this park, but then there's also a trail system that connects to it that runs along the river that goes into town. So just where I'd rather be, out in nature instead of walking along some road. I don't know if you can see this tree up here starting to bud out. I took some other videos that I'll make into a short about buds. I don't know if I can get this there. A turkey vulture flying around. Yeah, without that wind and everything behind the clouds, it'd be a pretty warm day today. I'll do a little walking without jostling him around too much. Kind of a muddy path right here. The things I do for a video. As far as public hunting, there for a few years they will close this park off because of overpopulation of the whitetail. But typically you can't hunt in this park. We have other state grounds, reservoir property for flood control of 3 of the major rivers in this part of the state. And those areas are state managed and you can hunt those. This is some of the roadway. The towers up there on the hill. This is one of the lodges here. I did a video on that. If you look down this way, that's the old park entrance. That's where we come in and out when I was a kid. They've since moved that. So that's just a dead end loop over there. 17, huh, P&J? I should only show 16 on my end, but I'll take it. Walk over this way. They cut some trees here this winter. That's something that they don't normally do either. There's a lot of underbrush here. It hasn't been touched for a long, long time. This isn't a trail, it's just more of a driveway leading up to this shelter. The trail that goes around the bison, that's what they call Trail 1. And it's just a mile in length. Pretty easy walking. There's nothing here that's severely difficult for trail hiking. There's not a lot of ravines or anything like that. There's some really neat parks in the southern part of the state. And one of them's called Clifty Falls. And another one called Shades. Those are Turkey Run. Those are 3 pretty neat parks down there that have a lot of different topography. To a degree, it's well maintained. I mean, it's getting to the point where they need to start doing some stuff. There's some masonry here that is in need of repair. So they need to get on that, and that's probably what caused that big crack in the masonry. Water got down in there and it froze, busted. And if you look down at the bottom of this post, there's some rock going on. P&J, no, I have not been doing any leather work since I've been off. Well, that's not entirely true. For the but they just started to deteriorate too quickly, and I was not feeling well enough to do it. I've been thinking about getting back to it, some new ideas and things like that, starting small. I gave a lot of things away for Christmas this year to my kids and things like that. So a lot of the inventory that I had is greatly diminished. Excuse me. But I've always got ideas. All right. That's good to know. I'll get out of the building then and see what else I can show you. All around the park, you'll see birdhouses. I'm not sure who maintains those. I think it may have been a scout project for somebody a long time ago. I think they're all numbered. Yeah, Rob, you send me some pictures of what you have in mind and sizes and style, things like that. Just let me know. You got all my information, so now to get a hold of me. There's some flowers popping up here. Yeah, Clint, it is very peaceful here. In the summertime, you get a lot more people. see if I can find this in the camera. There we go. There's some flowers popping up. I think the only reason why it's not so busy today is the threat of the storms. Walk along the tree line here, and I'll take you to another building in the park that we have not seen. It can also be rented out. It has air conditioning and lights and kitchen and modern conveniences in it. It's all enclosed, got windows, all that good stuff. I actually had rented this building that we're going to be coming up to for my younger daughter's high school graduation. That's where we had her party, was here in the park. So this park's just always kind of been part of me, or I've been a part of it, I guess, growing up as a kid. Makes a nice setting and location. Kind of overlooks the lake here. Yeah, thanks PJ. If you're just tuning in or never been here, it's old school Alaska. My goal is to get to Alaska. I've wanted to be there since I was 8. So it's been a long time coming. So I just started this channel. Show a little bit of my life here, hopefully before I transition to Alaska. Sorry for bouncing you around so much. Just holding this phone in my hand, so I don't do anything fancy. No jazz hands here. Everybody still hear me? Coming up to the lake. All right, Cordless, thank you. Just start to see the parking lot up here. There's a trail that goes all the way around the lake. I think that's Trail 4, if I'm not mistaken. The lake's 20 acres. So it's a good size. I have no idea how deep it goes. For the most part, it's just bass and bluegill that I'm aware of. I think when I was a kid there was some other species, but this lake's been drained at least once that I can recall. So I have no idea how it was restocked or anything like that. Hey, Boot Knife. Yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of wind here as I come out of into the parking lot. A lot of oaks in this area, big old massive trees. So we get a lot of squirrel activity in the park. Just start seeing the lake in the distance. Yeah, it is a a great park for a Sunday. I'm in not directly in Amish country, but another community over. There's two different orders of Amish in the area, and they come here a lot of times for get-togethers. They use the park quite a bit too. We're coming up on this other lodge now. It has handicap ramps. Not mistaken. This has all modern conveniences, flush toilets, some electricity and air conditioning. Attended a lot of weddings here. And company picnics. They'll set up tents out here in the yard. Have weddings and things like that. Patio area. This room right here, it's kind of just a little seating area, welcome area to the building. Pretty neat architecture here. This is a patio area in the back. Picnic tables. As you can tell, a lot of the masonry work in the park needs some serious attention. Barbecue station and the fire ring. This is part of the trail that goes around the lake. And this is the lake. That's the island inside the lake. It's not very big, it's not accessible. Like it a lot. Did a lot of nesting there. Yeah, sorry for the wind. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better. I'll walk down to the lake a little bit. So we got a few people having a picnic. Nice warm day. Somebody else fishing. And I will have a longer video of that coming out. Over here's where they have a beach for swimming, which they did not have that when I was a kid. That's It's a relatively new addition, probably in the last 5 or 10 years. We have boat rentals over there. You see there's people over there picnicking. On down the way there's somebody over there fishing. I'm going to try to get out of the wind here the best I can. What kind of fish? Like I said, it's mainly bass and bluegill. I'm not sure if there's any crappie in there or not. They had drained the lake, so I don't know how they restocked it. I know there's a minimum of 2 18-inch bass in the lake, so you can't take anything under that, no more than 2. The park is still technically not open as far as staff, so that should be coming shortly. So in the winter months there's maintenance crews here, but there's not really any charge to get in and out of the park. You can buy a park pass for $50 for the year. If you're a state resident, it's $7 a vehicle. And you probably cannot see inside because of the screen. That's a kitchen over there. Yeah, not a good view. Hey, Northern Girl, how's it going? Yeah, no problem. I understand. So the only reason I'm sitting up here is because it's out of the wind. So we're on the patio and you can see out to the lake. It's just a really nice place. In the summertime, these get booked up pretty quick. So roast does sound good. So I usually go for an hour, or I try to anyways, and we're about 49 minutes. So about another 10 minutes here and then I'll wrap this up. If anybody's got any questions about anything, let me know. We're getting there, P&J. I've got them all banked, so if I want to post them, I can. We'll get there. This lake was dug with some pretty primitive equipment at the time. I think they used a lot of horse-drawn and steam-powered equipment to dig this lake. Not like the earth movers and bulldozers and things like we have today. Yeah, Clint, it's 20 acres, if I'm not mistaken, which is ironically the same size as the bison enclosure. So it's roughly 1,000 acres for the park, 20 for the bison enclosure, and 20 for the lake. There's 5 trails, 5 main trails, and then there's also the bike trail that connects to the trail that goes into town. So technically there's 6 trail systems within the park. Brook trout, yes, it is easy to sit here and do nothing. But like I said, right now it's a pretty slow time for the park. Unpredictability of the weather. probably keeping a lot of people at home today. But I am noticing a little bit more car traffic right now, so maybe as the weather moves through, there'll be people. I know the park closes at 11 p.m. So yeah, Clint, I'm not sure the depth of it or anything like that. I think farther to the south, which is, well, we're about a third of the way up the lake right now. But if where you're looking now, if you go to your right farther down, it gets shallower. I know where the spillway is. So they have an overflow channel. And in one of my videos, there's a Trail 5 bridge, and that bridge spans where the outlet of the lake is, because there's usually always something flowing through that ditch. Honestly, I think right here behind these trees in the lake is probably one of the deepest parts of the lake, if I'm not mistaken. And then across the other side, that's where the beach, so that would be fairly shallow. Thanks, P&J. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find things to film. It seems like a lot of people want to see the bison and things like that. That's just one thing, just outdoor wildlife type stuff. It's a little bit more diversified. I like doing the crafts and things, but to be honest, my workshop is a total mess and it's not finished. And when you don't feel good, you don't really want to be out there doing much of that. So hopefully I'll get back into the swing of things and maybe start doing some more craft leather type videos and seeing how that does. Yeah, P&J, and they're kind of timeless videos, so that's the neat thing about wildlife. It doesn't really matter what time of the year. It's been 5 years or 10 years. You can look at it and enjoy it. It's not like it's based around world events or local stuff or anything like that, or where you are in life. Nature's always the same. Doesn't really change much, but it is relaxing. I got a little over 5 minutes left in here if anybody's got any other questions. Yeah, Clint, that was one of the things about the short video I did on the lake. If you guys, since I don't talk in my videos or anything, always check out my descriptions, because I've usually got more to say in there. I can articulate it a little bit better. So, but I had one on tall trees being flexible and things that go on in your life, and relaxing by the lake with that last one. Like I say, there'll be another longer version of that. I think it's about 5 minutes coming up, and it's basically the same scene. It's just a longer format. Thank you, P&J. Appreciate that. And I try to include scientific names and stuff like that in case somebody wants to do more research than what I've done on different species and things like that. things that you might not have in your area. That's a great thing about YouTube. You can connect all over the world with people, so I try to put that out there for them. Yeah, Clint, if that's all you can get to, is just seeing the birds and things come out, squirrels, that's part of it. It's pretty relaxing. P&J's got a lot of footage like that on their deck. It's just the local wildlife. I'm just fortunate to have the bison here. It's kind of unique for people. Yeah, brook trout, I am not sure what's going on with that. I'll always answer you through my personal account, so I'm sorry about that. I've tried to figure out what's going on with that, but I just haven't been able to. I don't think we've had the high temperatures yet that we need, and we've still had some mornings with frost. So I'm not sure. It'll probably be another week. Usually Mother's Day is about the height of the season here, so we're still out a little bit early for that. But I have not found any yet. Hey, Backyard Trucker, how's it going? Just getting ready to wrap this up, so I appreciate you stopping in and saying hi, though. Yeah, that's the thing, Clint. You got to take the good with the bad when it comes to nature. It can be beautiful one day, and then you have tornadoes moving through, or a snowstorm, or keeps you grounded, that's for sure. Morels are out in Virginia. I assume that's what VA you're talking about. And they're south and east, so they a lot of that coastal warmth that we don't have. I'm in more of the northern latitudes of the lower 48, so still a little bit cold here. Well, not necessarily cold, but in flux, I guess, with the weather temps. Mornings can still be pretty cold. Scraping ice, I think, just like heavy frost Thursday, I had to scrape windows in the morning. Sorry about jumping around. Like I say, I'm just holding this by hand, so I don't have any tripod set up or anything right now. All right, everybody. It's been just an hour now, so I'm going to sign off here. And everybody wants to say goodbye, and we'll check out. Looks like it's starting to get a little darker too, so need to get back to the truck. I have found deer sheds, brook trout, but not yet this year. All right, Rob, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, Backyard Trucker, that's my goal. It's a beautiful place. I love it. I tell people all the time I kind of wish I never went, and they look at me like I'm crazy because that's all I talk about, but now that's all I think about since I've been. So thanks, Rob and Sarah. Thanks for tuning in. Brook Trout, thanks for stopping by. Backyard Trucker, P&J. Cut the cord if you're still in here. All right. See you later. Bye. I can figure out how to close this out.